Before we get to the knife video, this is not a sponsorship, but I have to bring it to your guys' attention because they have a sale right now, and I want to do a full video on this because I cannot tell you how amazing it is having a quality medical bag. But even if you don't get one of these are a must. Like this is an amazing thing to have. And all of this stuff comes in here, by the way. But having these, so I go through band-aids, right? Obviously, I'm a knife guy, I go through bandages. I have never, ever in my life tried band-aids as good as these. Ever in my life. I probably will never buy any other band-aids, to be honest. I'm just gonna keep getting these. And I'm gonna explain exactly why. But there's also these stitch kits where, like, you know, if you get a wound, you can stitch yourself. Well, it's not a stitch, it tapes both sides and then you can yank it together so it seals the wound in order for it to heal, or until you can go and get real stitches, but they can even act as real stitches. This is for like blisters and stuff, but you could technically use that kind of as a band-aid too. But what's cool about them is, one, they wrap any direction. So like, say if you had a cut here, you could easily wrap it in and it'll work. You can wrap them in any fashion and they're just gonna stick to itself. Then the best part, all band-aids, when I put them on, like when I cut my finger, they always get moist underneath. And then the wound starts to burn and starts getting irritated. And then I have to, you know, I have to take it off. I have to let it air out. I have to clean it, blah, 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 blah. These don't do that. These do not do that. Like, you could technically, and I'm not telling you to do this because you should change your bandages, you know, often so that you can keep it nice and clean and keep ointment on there. But I tend to sometimes, especially if it's really nasty, I just want to leave the Band-Aid on there until it starts to close. I don't want to tear the Band-Aid off and risk it opening back up. And these, you can pretty much leave them on there until the damn thing is healed. That's how, like, 'cause the air gets to go through it. I can't tell you how awesome these Band-Aids have been. Just an absolute game changer for Band-Aids. Made in the USA, very high quality. Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we're talking about banger knives that go for actually a really good value. So these, in my opinion, are very well priced knives. We're only going to talk about 5 of them. There's quite a few more, but these ones, you know, are standing out to me right now. Right now, the rain just dropped back on CAVOL, which it's a little bit different than this one. In fact, I think it probably looks even better than this one. But this is a knife designed by Kirby Lambert, and it's made by Riat at a very high level. Kirby Lambert makes amazing custom knives, and for him to have a production knife under $300 made by Riat is crazy, with S90V, fat carbon fiber, and a titanium bolster lock with a titanium milk pocket that works great, and a floating matching backspacer. That's a cross-cut section of fat carbon fiber. You can see this one's got the pink. I love this deep hollow ground satin finish on the blade. Look at that. Oh, that's just gorgeous to me. And it has a beautiful drop point, nice swedge, and this one is thumb stud action. The original one was a flipper action. Amazing action, by the way. The thumb studs are very grippy. They're well placed. They thwack out there really good. Super ergonomic. This has a nice thick, robust blade, but nice and thin, deep hollow ground. So it slices really good, yet it's going to be very tough. This to me is a great example of like a tough use pocket knife that, you know, obviously looks really good. Now, just to show you the price on this, why it's so good, this is like $279. Right here, also on the same site, on a discount, you can get this knife for $350. So I'll link everything down in the description. These are going to be coming from CAVOL, so just go to the CAVOL link, click the link, you know, you'll see them there. Or, you know, you can even search for them if you want to. But the Sharp by Designs Mini Tempest has 2 different blade shapes, 2 different opening deployments. You got from flipper or regular flipper, and it uses the detent nub. Now you can also reverse flick it, and they got a buoy and then a drop point blade shape. But my point by saying this is that typically that's a $400 knife. I think like $425 or $415 or something like that. Right now it's on discount for $350. You're getting the same exact materials, S90V, titanium, fat carbon fiber. Look at that, same exact materials, and you could argue that this has a little bit more put into it. It's, you know, and the materials are bigger and everything else. Either way, both of them are amazing. I'm not taking anything away from this because I freaking love this knife. So, but you can see the value and why I'm saying how good of a value that this knife is. Next is the Protech Integrity, the TR3, USA made manual button lock knife from Protech. Awesome, awesome knife. They comes in multiple different versions. You can get the blue handle with black blade. That one to me is probably the best looking one. I think it looks amazing. A little bit more money than this version though. That one's about $270, but under $300, USA made, you know, basically a premium knife, aluminum scales. This one is, I believe, S35. Yes, S35 VN drop point blade. And this one right here goes for like $235. At least right now, you know. So like I said, everything will be linked down in the description. This one you could also find at a few different places. You can find it at the CAVOL link, or, you know, I'll link some directly. But anyways, my point is that this has freaking premium American made action. Oh my God, let's just listen to it. This thing has such a great detent. You know, being Protech, being like the masters of button locks, considered they, you know, normally do button lock autos, you know, I expect nothing less. They do an amazing job with their button locks. Now, the handle, you know, being the shape it is, very ergonomic. You have a hidden lanyard back here. It is a sandwich construction with aluminum scales, deep carry clip that's inset with flat screws, not reversible, which I do think was a miss on their end because button locks are ambidextrous. So I don't know why they did that. This one has a nice stone washed finish, so it's going to hide some of the scratches. I love the swedge on top. The ergonomics and just the shape of the knife is a fantastic, fantastic knife as far as use goes. When you're talking about a knife that's being practical and being used for a purpose, this is a great design. S35 VN, yes, it's starting to bump its way into a mid-grade steel, but it's still a premium steel in my opinion. I think S35 VN is still a premium steel, but you know, it would be at the bottom of premium steels. Regardless, it is a good to go steel. It's a great steel. It's easily, you can easily sharpen it. It's relatively easy for companies to heat treat well. So most companies are doing a good job with it. And yeah, it's just all around a good stainless, plenty of toughness, good edge retention, great steel all around. Next. Now this one's also from CAVOL because CAVOL's had some good deals right now. Now, it's not this one. This one was originally from Traditional Pocket Knives. I don't believe they're in stock anymore, but that's not the point. The point is they have on CAVOL's site, you can get fat carbon fiber, titanium frame lock with an S35 VN blade for $100, between $99 and I think $109, just depending on which version you get. Now, you can upgrade from there. So you can take and get new hardware, you know, basically you can make it your own. You can get basically whatever color hardware, color fat carbon fiber, and so on for your knife. So you can basically modify it to make it your own. Titanium clip. This one's a large one, so it has the flipper tab and the thumb stud deployment. I'm sure they have the large one too, but they're not going to have it in like the custom shop the way they do the regular size. So for the one that's in the custom shop for $100, $100 titanium frame lock with fat carbon fiber, mind you, and that's 35 yen, is going to be this size. You can see the difference there. But all around, good knife, man. The Penguin has been a badass knife since it came out. There's a reason why there's 1,000 different versions of it, and everybody's loved it. You know, even the original one was so affordable, and it was like the best bang for your buck knife for like 2 years. Anyways, the titanium fat carbon fiber Penguin is a great value when you consider the materials and the action, the knife, ceramic caged bearings, and considering for a little bit more, you can customize it and make it your own. So like I said, all of this will be linked down in the description. And speaking of the Penguins, there is the Penguin slip joint for those that can't carry locking knives, or maybe you just love slip joints. This is a great slip joint. It has a great pull. You hear that thwack. 20 CV steel on this one. There is other versions. This one's the fat carbon fiber, more premium one. But if you're looking for a nice size slip joint that is, you know, really, really good with a sheep's foot / Wharncliffe blade. This might be one to check out. And number 4, the LionSteel Skinny. Now, I do have the premium version with the titanium frame lock, but you can get the aluminum frame lock for, how much was it? Oh man, I forget the price. It was very affordable though. It was like a little over $100, like $120 or something. And you'll get aluminum frame lock, which is an integral, by the way. So this is like the most affordable integral you could probably find anywhere. This one's a titanium one, like I said though, has a removable flipper tab, and it's in Magna Cut steel. This is probably the best value Magna Cut bladed knife you can find. Now, I know some people are going to say, yeah, but it's made in Italy. In Italy, heat treats their steel soft. And I agree. I say that all the time. However, with this one, they did heat treat it supposedly 63 HRC. I think they did 62 to 64, but it might be 63 to 64. So I think that's awesome that they are doing that. So for all, you know, consideration of all the steels that they use, I think that they're possibly doing Magna Cut better than their other steels. Now, I still have to test it to really, really know, but I know a couple other people have tested it and, you know, they were happy with it. So very slim though. There's the reason why it's called the Skinny. Beautiful drop point blade, great access to the lock bar. On the aluminum frame lock, it's still going to have the steel lock bar insert and removable flipper tab, deep carry clip that is reversible. You just got to flip it over to this side, I believe. Yes. And great action, man. Great action. It has a tough feel to it without, you know, being a tough knife. So, you know, that's always a plus to me. And I personally like just like the way this looks with the hardware and everything. You know, it being an integral too. I like integrals personally. I know not everybody can see the value, but where I see the value is less parts to back out. So you're less likely that you're going to have loose screws and things like that, or even play or anything like that, because you know, you don't have the scale shifting over time and expanding and contracting and blah, 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 blah. This is just a solid handle with only another piece being the blade, well, and the clip, but you know what I mean. The part that really matters. It's only 2 parts rather than a whole bunch of parts. So, honorable mentions really quick. Migon. Migon has an incredible amount of knives, around $200 or less. Even their $300 knives feel like they should be way more expensive, but like this one you can get well under $200. This one's about $205, $209, something like that. But for what you're getting, amazing value from the fit, the finish, the tolerances, the action, everything. They use premium materials with premium quality that from other companies would be double the price, or if not, at least more expensive. And when they first showed up on the scene and I got to try, you know, a few models from them, every model they seem to improve more and more and more. So I knew, and I said it back then, you can watch my old videos, I said these guys are going to be going somewhere because they're listening, they're asking questions, they're trying to improve their knives, they're trying to put their knives on the map, and boy have they have done amazing work. And this one is probably my favorite right now, one of my favorites. The Flitz 2 is probably my all-time favorite from Migon, but I can't find it and it pisses me off. So anyways, I don't want to talk about it. This one's a spear point. This, as far as what's in my collection right now, this one's probably my favorite. Dual ground spear point blade in M390 steel. Nice deep hollow ground blade. Diamond pattern on the titanium frame lock. Titanium backspacer. This clip actually works really well. Then it has an amazing front flipper. The front flipper sits so proud. It's so easy to operate, especially for a large knife like this, because this is a big knife. So to get one that operates so easy, that's amazing. And you have the reverse and thumb flick hole, which both work the same, like perfectly well. Whether you're a thumber or a reverser or both, it works great. Then you have this guy with a Persian trailing point style blade, but my goodness, does this look good. This just looks aggressive to me. I'm actually giving this to one of the members, and this, I have a copper carbon fiber one. The milling on the titanium bolt stock is really deep. titanium mill pocket clip and backspacer. Phenomenal action, phenomenal detent. Yeah, the ergonomics, everything about this damn knife is great. I really, really like this one a lot. But like I said, I like a lot of them, man. And then even like this guy, look at this one, another one. These things are priced so good. You can't beat it really when you're talking about the machining, because like it's one thing to just do titanium, but then it's another thing when you got it contoured, you got micro milling, you know, you got it milled out on the inside, you know, all these little things that just add to a knife's quality. And then, you know, the way they're put together and just the machining, everything about them. These guys are a phenomenal value, very hard to beat as far as price versus what you get. For the last one, we're doing two knives actually, because they're both from the same company. We have the Artisan Banjara, I think that's how you pronounce it, and the Artisan Boa. I think both of these are great values considering what you're getting. You're getting, in this case, they do have other versions, by the way, in S90V, Timascus. There's 4 different versions for this. I think 5 actually. But anyways, there's even a mirror polished one. But anyways, this one right here, S35VN, titanium frame lock or bolster lock, whatever you want to call it, with micarta overlays. But like I said, there is the jig boned one that has like a finish kind of like this with it just full titanium. There's an all black one with carbon fiber. I love that one. All of them are great. It doesn't matter which one you get, they're all amazing. The action from this front flipper is phenomenal. One of the reasons why I did the front flipper the way I did on my design was because of front flippers that work as good as this, because you can easily get it from any direction with any finger. It is so easy to manipulate. Even left-handed, it's easy to manipulate. Now, the clip is not reversible, but it's a great lefty-friendly knife. If you are lefty, you know, as long as you don't care about the clip. The titanium is done really well. The clip works great. Titanium backspacer, hidden lanyard back there. Thumb stud action makes it really easy to operate. And then you have a whole deployment. So you technically have 3 versions or 3 deployment options, and they all work great. The ergos are really good. It's not a huge knife. It is more of a medium sized knife, so it's a full size knife that's super capable, very comfortable in the hand, and in my opinion has a very functional blade shape. I personally love the Artisan Boa. I think they did a bang up job on it, and you know, and since they have all the different versions they have, I mean, it just adds to it because they all are amazing. Now the Banjara is another knife with 2 forms of deployment. And this one has, I believe, yes, S90V steel with a Persian blade shape. So it does have a Persian, or you could say a trailing point blade shape, which is really good for skinning and things like that, and also self-defense, because the tip is basically aiming at anything, you know, you're stabbing at. It's not going to be the best for utility cuts. However, this one, because of the way this arches up, then down, and then back up, the tip is much easier to get to than a lot of trailing points. Plus, you have the belly to cut down on a flat surface, which will benefit you a lot. For slicing, you're going to want to cant your wrist like this to trap it into cut so it doesn't slip off because of the belly. But the thing looks aggressive. This is a great, you know, self-defense / EDC knife. Very fidget friendly. The action is phenomenal. The whole deployment is just big enough to where, you know, you're going to be able to get a lot of leverage, whether it's the thumb or the reverse flick. Then you have the flipper. Ooh, hit my damn thumb. Then you have the flipper tab, which also works extremely well. You can see how smooth it is. Phenomenal access to that lock bar. Look at how smooth the thing is. The titanium frame lock has this nice milling on it that is nice and grippy. And, you know, the blade has a beautiful satin finish on it. It's almost like a semi-mirror polish. It's a very fine satin finish. But yeah, I think it's an awesome value. I think both of these are a great bang for your buck when you're talking about premium. Premium materials, premium build quality, and premium everything, but for a little bit of a lower price than you see from a lot of other companies with the same material, same build quality, and so on. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.